When I was pregnant with Mason, we had no idea that he would have special needs. He has a PERT syndrome. It is a chromosome abnormality. One of his chromosomes just has a mutation on it. They said it happened at conception. There was nothing we could have done about it. There is no cure for it. It's just part of who he is, like a child with Down syndrome. It's just part of who he is. He was a week late, and after 13 hours of labor, my labor started stopping. So the doctor said, let's go get him by C-section. After all of it, basically the doctor says, and here he is, oh, call the NICU. The reason I ended up having to have a C-section was because his head, the bones were already fused together. So his hands were webbed together and fused together. So he only had a thumb, a pinky, and then this giant middle finger, basically. So that was our first indication that something may have been wrong. Obviously, they swallowed him up. They let me give him a little kiss, and they whisked him off to the NICU. And I needed to go to recovery because C-section's a surgery. And my husband said, I'm going to go with the baby. And so a little while later, my husband comes back down and says, he's perfect. He has some things that need to be fixed, but they can all be fixed. And so he's perfect. He's had multiple hand surgeries as they slowly separated each finger. He does not have the ability, though, to make a fist because you're supposed to have 3 little bones in your finger, and these first 2 are webbed and fused together. So he only has kind of like a duck grasp where he can't bend the fingers. Obviously, with his feet being, the toes being fused together has not stopped him. He jumps, he crawls, he climbs, he does basically everything that a typical little boy will do. He's always had a super happy disposition. Life is just fun. And I know that God gave him that because of everything he has and had to overcome.
Ready? Throw it. Throw it. Ah! I met him at a softball tournament actually for skiing, and that's when I first met Mason. No matter what the situation is with Mason, he's always a happy kid. It's rare to find one of those children who are just always happy and have a smile on their face, or is always just cheerful like Mason is. That's one of his biggest things that he's known for. We're very open about Mason. We love to tell people about Mason. We even have these special Mason is God's special child bracelet that we wear every single game. We even dedicate a game to Mason, which you wear blue ribbons.
They between her and the softball team, they've adopted him very well, and they've done so much for us, just as far as caring, understanding him. He was actually able to throw out the first pitch at a softball game last year. I was the catcher. It's one of the greatest feelings in the world to know that good people in humanity still exist. It's something that's rare these days, but to have people like Whitney and her family and the softball family and just the Gein community just come together for one kid they don't even know. We'll walk around HEB and Walmart and 4 or 5 people will say, hi, Mason, and my wife and I look at each other like, you know who that is? We're like, no, we never met those people before, but they know Mason.
I've learned not to think about too much in the future because that what if can bring you down faster than anything, because you never know. I'm on a Facebook group. It's like a support group. It's all families with kids with his syndrome or even grown adults with his syndrome, and they all just talk about experiences and what they're going through to help each other out. And I hear these horror stories, just last week or the other day, somebody didn't make it out of surgery. That's always a risk. Every time he goes under anesthesia, there's a chance he won't come out. I try not to think about that. It's one of the uglies, but I'm prepared for it just in case, I want him to be a independent, fully functional adult. I know that he will be able to get a job, hopefully live independently. I would love if he could go to college and further his education. It all just depends on how far he can go. I want him to be happy. I want him to get married and have a family if that's what he wants. You know, I want him to have whatever he wants.